Aaron Rodgers, I thought, humiliated the Packers. Jay Glazer, Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, all at the exact same time, suddenly broke the story, all connecting to one another like I've never seen in my entire career that Aaron wants out of Green Bay. I don't know who fed him the information. I don't know. I can guess who I think it is. I don't think it's the Packers. But now Aaron's friends are out there. A.J. Hawks on our show in 15 minutes. James Jones on the NFL Network saying Aaron didn't leak the story.
I speak with Aaron all the time. I talk to him a lot. And it has nothing to do about getting the GM fired. It has nothing to do about getting a new contract and getting money. You know what I mean? Everything that Aaron Rodgers has done since he's been a Green Bay Packer, this is not him. He's not a guy that's going to go out there and leak all this stuff and say he wants out of there and be giving all this stuff to the media. That's never been him. And the organization side of it comes into place, and you talk about, you know, him and the GM and the head coach working together. I think it's fixable. I think they'll be able to get that stuff done. But I think that's what it's about.
Okay, and that's important. James Jones, who talks to Aaron Rodgers all the time, just said, I think it's fixable. James talks to Aaron. Aaron talks to James. Meaning Aaron's probably told James, it's fixable. Just, you know, go get me Julio Jones, restructure my contract. I've said before, I'd peel the Band-Aid off and move on if Jordan Love can play. If Jordan Love can't play, then you're really screwed. Then you have to figure out how to get Aaron Rodgers back into camp and in Green Bay for years. And we've had how many players have I had on this show over the last month? And what's the question I ask every player? And I preface it by saying to each one of them, I ask every player this. How many days does it take when you draft a player to know that he can play or he can't? And the answer from every player is always shockingly quick. Shockingly quick. 2 practices. I asked somebody the other day about Trubisky. 2 practices. With Sam Acho. 2 practices. You can tell if a quarterback can't play. Well, Green Bay's had Jordan Love there for 150 practices. Don't you think they know the answer? Green Bay doesn't want to move Aaron Rodgers. And because of COVID, none of us were at those Green Bay practices, right? Green Bay knows he can't play. Green Bay knows the answer. They're the only ones that know the answer. They want to make this thing work. They don't want to trade Aaron Rodgers. They've seen 150 practices. You don't think they don't know if he can play or not? Every stinking athlete that comes on this show is like, dude, 2 practices, guy can make throws or he can't. They got 150 practices, and they're like, I don't know, it could go either way. I don't buy it. I think Green Bay knows Jordan Love can't play and they whiffed. And if that's the case, okay. Everybody makes mistakes in the NFL. The key has always been own it, pivot, and fix it. The Cleveland Browns, to their credit, hired Freddie Kitchens. Oh, crap. This doesn't work. Boom, out, Stefanski. They fixed it. They didn't try to, hey, Freddie Kitchens just needs time. No, Freddie Kitchens needs time to come down to the GM's office and get fired. They fired him. Stefanski's a home run. Arizona, Josh Rosen, doesn't work. Boom. Kyler Murray. Think they regret it? By the way, Green Bay rolled the dice. We're going to draft a guy from Utah State who had a marijuana issue. Oh, yeah, 2 of his 3 years, he wasn't very good. They rolled the dice. They whiffed. It's okay. The Rams signed Jared Goff to a massive contract. Huge deal. 2 years later, we screwed up. Let's go get Matt Stafford. Belichick, not this draft, the previous draft, drafted 2 tight ends, 10 picks apart from each other. This draft, this free agent period, 9 months later, yeah, I'm going to go get 2 tight ends. I missed on those guys. Carolina, Teddy Bridgewater. They paid him $31 million. He played 15 games. Carolina's like, yeah, you're not good enough. Let's go get Sam Darnold. The key in this league, everybody makes mistakes. The key is own it, pivot, and get the crap right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Kyler Murray, just go get the better guy. Kevin Stefanski, get rid of Freddie Kitchens. Everybody makes mistakes. The Murdochs own this company. Some businesses work, some don't. It's just the way it goes. If you're a frenetic and aggressive business person, entrepreneurial, you're going to make some moves that don't work. You can't be afraid. You think business people are afraid of failing? Dana White, UFC. He puts Cardi. They need him tonight. He's 50-50 if he can play. They've needed him when LeBron got hurt. They're 2-6, and he's had the worst point average in his career in a brief stint. Listen, here's the truth about Anthony Davis, is that he's not Tom Brady. He's not Russell Wilson. He's not LeBron James. He doesn't spend millions of dollars a year on his body. He does not. He does not spend millions on his body. He's more like Rasheed Wallace, naturally gifted, not really a number one, more of a brilliant number two. You can't necessarily depend on him physically, but God, he's unbelievably gifted. But Rasheed Wallace used to give the Blazers a check before the start of every season for all the fines for missing working out. He didn't like the weight room. Anthony Davis doesn't either. He is not a grinder. He doesn't take care of his body, and therefore his body doesn't take care of him. That is why he has so many small nagging injuries. You have got to commit to your body. The planes, 33,000 feet. I don't care if it's a private jet. I don't care if it's the team plane. 33,000 down, 33,000 down, 45, 55 times a year, working out, light sleep, luggage to the hotel. It breaks down your body. And the reality is Anthony Davis is just not built to give you 75 games in the regular season and 20 in the postseason. And LeBron is now tied to him for his career because Anthony Davis knew his body gives out in him. He knows his body better than anybody, and he signed a 5-year deal, and LeBron is now tied to him. A guy that's marginally committed, not a number one, a brittle body. And this was supposed to be the year that AD took over. Remember, this was the year. He's 28 years old. They win a title, and there was a sense inside the room, the Lakers room, this is your team. What happened? He came in so-so shape. He got off to a terrible start. He has this year the fewest blocks of his career, the fewest rebounds of his career, the second lowest field goal percentage. He's had a terrible year, and he's missed the most games of his career, and LeBron is tied to him. And you know what this really shows more than anything? And this is such a truism in life. You can run from your problems, but you can't hide from them. LeBron has moved 3 different times, and he can't escape the same issues in the NBA. He went to Miami. D. Wade was old, got hurt a lot. And he goes back to Cleveland. Kyrie was flaky. Kevin Love couldn't stay healthy. Now he moves to Los Angeles. AD, never healthy. And LeBron is trapped because he doesn't want to play with young kids. He doesn't want to teach them basketball. When he went to Los Angeles initially, they had all these kids. Kuzma's the only one left, and he wasn't in love with him. Kuzma's now committed on the defensive end. That makes LeBron happy. But in the end, he would have gotten rid of Kuzma. So he doesn't want to play with young guys. He wants to play with old guys. But old guys are brittle and stuck in their ways and often flaky and hard to deal with and harder to coach. So LeBron is sort of trapped, and he keeps moving around to solve an issue, and he just finds the same issue in a different city. First, Dwayne Wade was older and couldn't really play at a high level back-to-backs. And then Kevin Love got hurt in Cleveland, and Kyrie was a flake. And now he moves here, and AD sort of marginally committed and can't stay healthy. This is not a championship team this year, and it's the reality of LeBron's career. He now looks old. He feels old. Sometimes he sounds old. He said a couple of weeks ago, I'll never be 100% again. This was going to be the year that AD took over, and instead, once again, LeBron is left with a teammate he can't rely on. He came in marginal shape. This is why he's hurt more than ever. These guys are pampered. They're not supposed to get hurt. You got training staffs looking after him 24/7. AD walks by him all the time. So once again, LeBron moves to solve an issue, and it's the same issue in another location. So the Aaron Rodgers stuff, it's never ending. So right the day of the draft, I thought it was sort of a zany coincidence